You know, it wasn't all just like dick and fart jokes. It was like some of it was like really dark. Some of it had like really like witty bite to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think after, cause when you look through when you play this, and when after we do all the DLC, and when you go back to play, when you go to play the when we go to play the pre-sequel, and we get to the end of that, I think I don't think that like I don't know how to put this. What I'm trying to say is like I think you might be a little more like, oh, cool, because like the universe of the game is just gonna kind of open up a little bit more. Um, but like there are a lot of like random like Easter eggs in this game. Like obviously there was the video I did when we're in the Costing Caverns where you find there are two big Easter eggs there, but
Yeah.
the pre-sequels all the Easter eggs are like sci-fi related. So like there's Spaceballs references, there's a lot of Star Wars references. I think there's a Doctor Who reference. There's like a Buzz Lightyear Easter egg. There's Ghostbusters. Um, and while the pre-sequel, like this game took 3 years to make, the original, and I think for a 3-year game, it was pretty solid. The pre-sequel took only a year, and I don't know. Like again, I only went through the pre-sequel once, so I only have my initial reactions to it, which were I loved it because I love the franchise.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say it's obviously not better than two, but it's still better than one. Um, and I think with this franchise, if you were to go back to one after this and like play through it and like have everything that you know now about the world in the back of your head as you play, I feel like one might slightly be more enjoyable because you have a better sense of the world and a better sense of like the lore and the better sense of what's going on.
Well, it
They
might be
do.
interesting to do that because you understand how characters got to where they are or why they're doing
Hmm.
the things that they're doing. Playing through one would also be a chore because it's not as good.
Yeah, it's
In
not as
one,
good.
in one you have to, if you want to use a certain weapon, you have to be a certain class. Otherwise, you don't have a speciality in it. The quests are far more monotonous, and the story is abysmal. There's nothing linking anything to anything. You literally have to find, even listening, because I mean, like, I played through it recently. Oh, Robert Santiago. I would like to thank Robert Santiago, environment artist Robert Santiago. Apparently, I helped make the environments in this game.
What?
You didn't see him. You didn't see my name in the credits. Go
I
back and
just saw I
look
just
for
saw
that.
it.
Yeah.
Screen cap that.
I'm not gonna
Um,
screen cap that. Anyway. Uh,
no, I agree with you. One is
like
it's
the
very you gotta
I just
chug
played through
through
it
one.
again. Well, yeah, but I mean, like I just played through it again, and like even listening to all the echo recorders and everything that people have to say about certain things, you still have no idea what's happening more than half the time. It's super confusing. It's like, all right, where are we? Like, why are we going? What? Okay. And I mean, like the thing about it is that it's
I
I
feel
don't know.
like
It's a game. It's a game that like kind of a hybrid between an RPG and an MMO. Only,
and a first person shooter.
yeah. But I mean, like, and that's where like some things like where Aaron talks about how Sonic games don't really decide what they want to be.
Right.
Like they just try to do like everything. Borderlands 1 couldn't really figure out what it wanted to be.
Right.
And I
I
would say that
think
Borderlands 2 didn't really figure it out either, because it's still trying so hard to be like these three core concepts, when it would probably just be better as like two. Like, if it was a first-person shooter RPG, then everything would drop at a certain point, and you would have grinding and certain things. You could have like random drops, blah blah blah. But like, I feel like the thing with the massive I feel like where the MMO aspect comes in is that like all the drops and spawn rates are completely asinine and random. Like you have no idea when something is going to drop versus when it's not going to. Like we had less than we had like a 1 in a million shot, and I opened a box and the rarest spawn in the game jumped out, and there are probably people who've played this game for like hundreds of hours and have never seen it.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, that's just like, well, why are you going to deprive some of your, like, you're going to make your fans play like hundreds of hours when like it doesn't matter? You know, like that doesn't make any sense. If they want to unlock all the secrets of the game and get every trophy and do everything because they love your franchise enough, why are you making the spawns 1 in a million? That's stupid. You know?
Yeah. There's
but, like, it was a decent game. I would give Borderlands a solid like 3.5 to 4 out of 5. I like it. I like it for the playability of having fun with your friends. You know, it gives you a lot of stuff to do with your side quests, and it heavily emphasizes teamwork. Like if you're not working well together, you die a lot more.
That's the thing with playing with like 4 players, because when we went through Borderlands 1, I went through it with like two of my bros, and there were tough times, but like once we like got like a good couple of hours into it, like we knew we knew what our trees were, we knew what we would do, you know, we knew who was support, we knew who was like, you know, who was the healer, and we just like dove into it, and we just got really tactical with it. And that was the same thing we did with 2. Well, by the end it was just me and Tom, and we just got down, and it was just like, all right, there are guys over there, and like Tom and I just have gotten to a level now from like all of the years of playing Call of Duty together, you know, from all of his World of Warcraft days, even from our Borderlands playthroughs, that we get into a level and we just kind of like go into a zone. We call it raid mode, because that's what he had called it, because that's how he kind of would act, and we would just go in and be like, all right, you know, loader on the left, and then just be like, all right, and we would just kind of like, if you were to draw it out, we would be like, our characters would be back to back as we would take down all these enemies. You know, we would yell popping turrets, popping special, whatever. And that was why I really liked Borderlands 2, because we had that. We were just like we were in sync, and we knew what was going on. And I think when we get to the pre-sequel, when we have 4 guys, I think it's gonna be really fun, especially if it ends up being you, me, Diggs, and Andrew. If we just get in there and like, because we'll all be like in the same environment, so we'll all be able to like work through that. What I was gonna say is, because they started making comic books that follow the first game, and they take some liberties with it, obviously, because you're going from a game to a comic adaptation. But one of the things they do is they kind of explain a little bit of what Claptrap did before the beginning of the first game. Like there was a girl in Firestone who would greet new Vault Hunters with Claptrap, and then she died because of bandits. So he's talking to Lilith, and he tells her all this, and he's like, yeah, we would always dance together. That's why I love dancing so much. I felt happy with her. And like he tells her that like bandits came through the town and like killed her, and he was like could we dance? And Lilith just like looks at him, and she's like, at first she's like, no way, and he's like, all right, and then she like thinks about it, and she goes, all right, but don't tell anybody. And then there's just like a panel of the 2 of them dancing together by the bus stop. But yeah, every game has its flaws. Borderlands 2 has a good amount, not as much in my opinion as the first game.
No, I don't think so either.
And I feel like if you're someone who loves this game, like if you're someone that loves a game, like it's like, think of it like a woman, all right, like, or a person you fall in love with. You fall in love with them, but you don't look past their flaws, and you sit there and you go, okay, these are like the things, and like they do that in like you guys talk about it, it's like, all right, this is things that like could be fixed, could not, you realize what they are, but you're willing to work with it and like to accept it and to like keep working through it. And I feel like with almost every game, but especially a game like Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 is you realize all of these like little problems, all these flaws, all the gripes you have with it. But at least for me, as I sit back and I'm like, yeah, you know, all these things could be fixed, it could be better, but you know what? I really love the story. I loved Handsome Jack when I first played 2, and when I first met Handsome Jack, I was like, wow, that's a really cool, like, he's a douchebag, yeah, but he was I was so interested in listening to him, and to listening into, like, the wit he had, and the banter, and how he just antagonizes you through the course of the game, to when they were like, oh yeah, here's the pre-sequel, you get to like find out more about Handsome Jack. I was like, yes, that's what I want. I want to know more about this guy. And it just like helps to build the universe for me, and I can get invested in it more and more. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of thing, you know. You do have to kind of look past certain things, but at the same time, you can't pretend they're not there. You know, so
Yeah.
just a balance. You just have to acknowledge them. You have to be like, "Yep."
Yeah, and as long as you not like
This
it's
is
like
broken and should be fixed. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't love something. Like, you know, just means
the events, people, places, and
what's wrong with
entities herein, while pretty awesome. Oh, never mind.
New playthrough mode unlocked. Congratulations, you've unlocked True Vault Hunter mode. The Vault Hunter mode is where the real game begins. You'll fight new, tougher enemies, and you earn better loot and gain even more levels. You can change your playthrough mode from the main. Okay. Cool.
All right, let's loot
That's
the rest.
and all.
You won't be doing it.
Probably not.
I probably will. Because again, I enjoy. Is there any more loot to pick up?
I like this game, but I mean, like, maybe in, like,
Yeah,
months.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it anytime soon. Like, I want to play through all the DLC first, and then play through the pre-sequel. You know, and plus we're gonna be going like, maybe it'll be something I do while I'm at school when I have downtime after I beat all my other games. Because I was like, should I bring my PS3 to school and my PS4? And then I realized how many games I actually will have for my PS4 during the school year. You know, just going off the top of my head, I have this, Need for Speed, The Last of Us, Tomb Raider, the 2 secret games that I'm going to be starting a playthrough of, Destiny, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Saints Row 4, Assassin's Creed Unity, and then I'm going to be getting Dishonored in like a week.
Oh, I killed myself.
It's okay. You'll just respawn over here. I'm going to be getting like Dishonored within the week, and then I'm going to be getting, when Syndicate comes out, I'll have Syndicate, and then I'll have Fallout 4, which will take me months and months to beat. Yeah.
Oh, is Fallout 4 coming out this year?
It's coming out in November.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
That's interesting.
I'll double check right now.
That's interesting how they didn't like say anything about it until like a couple months ago, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's done now."
Oh yeah, because when I pre-ordered it, they were like, "Yeah, there's no date for it. The placeholder date is like December 2016, which is the placeholder date for any game." Hold on, I'm logging into my GameStop app. I'm gonna pull up my pre-order list.
Fantasy. When I was talking to Jesse yesterday, Final Fantasy 15 is confirmed for 2016.
Solid. All right, so here's what we got coming within the
in a year or so.
Here's what we got coming in from the earliest release to the latest. We have the Dishonored Definitive Edition, which comes out the first Tuesday of school. So in like 16 days, and I have that on pre-order. Then I pre-ordered the Gold Edition of Syndicate, which comes out October 23rd. Then I got Fallout 4, which comes out November 10th. And then the Ratchet & Clank reboot comes out next June. So, there's nothing like new that's going to be announced. Like, everything that's coming out by Christmas, I'll have already bought since I've pre-ordered them already. So, like, for Christmas, I'll probably get, like, Infamous Second Son, and then, like, I don't know, maybe The Order, or, like, something cheap. Oh, these racks.
The Order's still like $30. I intend to pick that up too.
Yeah.
Like
I saw my roommate play through it when I was at college, and it looked pretty cool. I'm gonna take us to the
Yeah.
Iridium Blight.